one person change the world? And if one person can do it, can you do it? So this is something that I always wanted to do. I want to change the world. But growing up and talking to people I was surrounded by, I noticed very early on that there were limits to everything. Limited to our finances, limited to the people that we have around us, and also limited to our fear. I came to the conclusion that it is really hard if you have very big dreams and you are coming from an average family with an average income. It is really hard to break out of that, because all the people around you, if you're telling them from your big visions, they're either not going to believe you that you're going to pull it off, or they will just talk you out of it and tell you those dreams are too big. Where you're from, you can't go where you want to go. It can really hurt, especially hearing that from people that are really close to you. It is really important to understand that whatever dream is inside of you is there for a reason, and you're the only person that is completely aware of what that thing is. And every else's opinion is just a reflection of maybe their dreams that they didn't achieve, and now they want to talk you out of it. It's like fears that's going on in their minds for whatever reason, that they might try to protect you or whatever it is. Sometimes it's like our own parents that tell us this job is not making a lot of money and stuff. Like, they want to protect us. They have good intentions, but what they don't realize is that they can crush more dreams than failure of us trying this and failing. I was reading this book, The Alchemist, a very popular book, and this is about someone's calling. And it just made me realize that I've been carrying this dream inside of me for so long, but a lot of things and other people influenced me and made me feel like, okay, maybe my dream is too big for me to achieve. Any kind of dream you have, it is important to really break it down. I had multiple dreams. I always wanted to start a YouTube. I would like to change the school system, and I would like to have a TED Talk. Looking at all these three things, I noticed, okay, YouTube is the easiest to start. This would also help me improve my speaking, which would then benefit me when it comes to having a TED Talk. It's also helping me practice my English. And then third, if I want to start a school system, a different school system, and if I start a YouTube and get a lot of people to follow me, that way I'm able to build a community, which could be the foundation of starting that school system. So knowing these things and connecting multiple dreams that you might have, this is like ideally the best thing that you can kind of like build your dream life with smaller pieces, right? So YouTube, you can start, like, there are no requirements. A lot of times we're telling ourselves we need to be a really good speaker, we need to have the right gear, we need to have the skills to edit the video. Like, you can literally just record yourself talking, and then one day you're turning on your camera too. There are no requirements, but a lot of time our fear is telling us we cannot do this. And that's what I've been through for years, of me being too scared to upload because of what other people might think. And that is the next thing that is really important, is having the right mindset. I was like, okay, if anyone back from school would see these videos, I don't care anymore. If someone is talking bad behind my back, that has nothing to do with me and the quality of the stuff that I put out there. And this is a long process. This took me a lot of years to develop. You can practice this by repeating like positive self-talk in front of the mirror, like knowing that no one can take your identity from you. Like, even if you look funny or weird in pictures, even if you wear, I don't know, something specific, I feel like especially celebrities get judged by thousands and millions of people online of what they wear and why they look a certain way, or why they look happy or not happy in a situation. It's all gossiping about those kind of people. Those are not the people you want to attract, that talk bad behind your back. I had a point in life where I thought I need to talk other people into liking me. Like, I thought if someone thought of me a certain way because I was the youngest in class of graphic design school, I was 16 and the average person there was 22. They let me know that I was the youngest every time they would tell me something, And to the point where I started questioning myself if I am even supposed to be here because I'm way younger than everyone else. And my mom told me I should just use this as my advantage to always be the youngest in any kind of setting. Just because other people give you a certain feeling or you feel insecure because you get perceived a certain kind of way, that does not have to do anything with your own worth or the value that you provide, because this can just be a person that does not see your potential, and you don't need to prove them wrong, because if they don't see it or they don't want to see your potential, then those are not the people you want to be surrounded by. So don't waste your energy into those kind of people, because it's not going to change. Another thing that's really important is having the just do it mentality. So instead of worrying and overthinking a lot, which I'm very good at, I try to just do it. As soon as I feel like, oh, but this, I'm just going to push through that. And I'm like, okay, if I watch my own video like a little bit too often, it might make me a little bit insecure and feel like maybe I don't want to publish it. And I had one video that I didn't want to publish, and I was like, okay, publish in like 3 weeks or something. And then it was one of the videos that has one of the most views on my account that I never wanted to upload, and then it accidentally uploaded after those 3 weeks because I forgot to push the date back or just delete it. Sometimes like we are our biggest critics, and sometimes this is because of how other people make us feel. If other people are mean to us, we might even be mean to ourselves. And we're the ones that need to be the kindest people to ourselves. It's really most important how you are treating yourself. And if you treat yourself well, you will also only accept people in your life that treat you well as well. First of all, if you want to live a life that is completely different from your family, from the people that you're surrounded by, obviously, you need to do something different. You need to make more risks. You need to do things differently, and this can be hard. I was the first one to invest in the stock market of my family. Once I shared that with certain people, I was the first one to be vegetarian, not eat meat, especially my grandparents. Just talk. Then when I told them about me investing in the stock market, again, like they just tried to talk me out of it and that I can lose all my money. Okay, but looking at certain kind of people that are business owners do certain things differently than the average kind of person. And I was like, I'm doing these things now too to get there. Not getting supported by the people that are closest to you is the hardest part and hardest pill to swallow and accept or move on, or trying to build a new set of friends. This can be really hard, and you will probably feel very alone during that process of moving from your past self to your future self that you want to become. But it's really important to envision it, to visualize who you want to become and what kind of habits you need to have in order to achieve that. Because at one point I realized that if I don't change anything about my life, I'm going to be at and down, and we can't really control it. And this is like our heart rate, heartbeat going up and down. This is the stock market with our finances. It might be here, it might be here. And this is just the economy, inflation, like everything is like a constant up and down. And I circle like the up and the down. If you change your mind about how you think of those low points in life, and I also made a video about that you can watch, it is important to not see them as something negative, but rather as something positive that's going to lead you to a different way, that's going to make you try something different. If one thing doesn't work, you're probably going to try something else with your business if one way failed. And you shouldn't give up right away just because one thing failed. You shouldn't give up the whole business. But learning is more like a process. If you're not a visual learner, or you try visual learning and you're not a visual learner, then you might fail trying that. But that way, you're going to realize by trying other things, listening to audios or trying to teach other people, by trying out all these things, you're going to find out, okay, I'm this kind of learner, maybe I need to listen to things. And even though you might fail in all these other things of trying to learn something, you now found something that will help you. And that way, it's going to save you way more time, even though you failed all these times before. And this goes for starting your business. This goes for trying to do anything. Like I also started learning Spanish on Duolingo now. And it's the same thing with that. Like sometimes I remember a lot of Spanish words, and there are other days where I just mix words up and I feel like, why am I even doing this? Like this is the hardest part about the low points in life of something specific, when they hit and you just feel like, what am I doing with my life? Like it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but sometimes you just need a day to sleep through it, and the next day it's different again, or you feel more positive about it. So I have another drawing for you. And this is a closer look of one of those. Let's say it's a hill. We have here a scale from 0 to 10. And let's say you could view this financially, or this is you not knowing a single word in Spanish, and 10 means you're fluent. This can be like any kind of skill that you want to develop. And of course, if you're at 0, it seems impossible to get up here. And even, let's say this would be like the Mount Everest, and you want to climb the Mount Everest, but you have no experience. So obviously you need to train in order to get up here, or else you're just going to fall down. And let's say you are here, which means you're going to go even lower in order to get here. Sometimes, if we had a feeling where it goes down, we think it's something negative, but it might just be our chance to go up again. Okay, so let's view this financially. You have an average income. You might be between 2 and 3, maybe even 4, but you're in your comfort zone. You are not at 0, you're not homeless, maybe you're at between 1 and 2 and living paycheck to paycheck, but it's not comfortable life, but it's paying the bills and you're like semi-struggling. Then up here are the people that have more money and maybe you want to go there. I put a trampoline below the 0 because I feel like I've met a lot of people that were at 0, that were so much in debt that they thought they're never going to get out of it. And what helped them, and this is really important, is the struggle that they were in, that 0. That energy that they had inside, that they wanted to change their life down here, was that trampoline that got them from 0 to 4 in like a short period of time, because they put so much work in that people between 2 and 4 don't put into, because they're in their comfort zone. So what I noticed, the first thing to get out of this hard zone of an average income, it doesn't just have to be money. It can be applied to any kind of skill or goal that you want to achieve, is getting out of that victim mentality. Like sometimes I had so many friends or people that say like, I can never do this because my parents aren't rich, or because I wasn't born into this and that kind of wealth, so I can never generate any wealth. And that's bullshit. That's like your mind limiting yourself and your fear of doing something different. This is your comfort zone telling yourself you can't do it. And that's why you're not trying it, because you're scared of failure, whatever you're scared of. And this is holding you back. And the second thing is that you need some kind of pressure in order to get out of your comfort zone. So let's say that friend that I had that had like over like 100K in debt. And it was terrible. Like he was so poor and didn't know how to get out of there. And he told me that he pushed himself so hard to get those 100K in debt, to see it as a plus on his bank account. And he did everything for it. He had 4 businesses, 3 businesses that failed, and then another one that succeeded. And now he has people working for his company. And it would have never been possible if he wouldn't have that struggle of those 100K in debt. And that is something you can pressure yourself. I've seen other people do this before, that they were like, okay, I'm going to quit my job to put all my energy into my hobby in painting, whatever it is, this can sometimes, or a lot of times, help us to really hit off the ground and start something and succeed very big in whatever it is. It's not a guarantee, and that's why not a lot of people are doing this, because anything that you do in life is never guaranteed. Even if you buy a course that says you're going to make 10K or 20K after doing that course, this is like bullshit. That's not true, that you cannot guarantee something like that, because whatever kind of skill you're trying to train other people, you never know how they're going to apply it. And so that is something, if you pressure yourself, if the pain is big enough, you are willing to change, to get out of a toxic relationship, to quit that job in that toxic work environment, whatever it is, what you should start off is your mindset, to look at the people that you surround yourself with, and to really push and always repeat certain things to the point until you believe it. Even if you don't believe it, if you look in the mirror and tell yourself every day that you're beautiful or that you're capable of doing anything, like those positive self-talk kind of things can really help you to embody those messages that you keep repeating to yourself.